Welcome to Movie Q, the show where we talk about good movies, bad movies, queer cinema, and homemade apple pie. I'm Justin Rivers alongside Catherine Stevens, and today we are debuting a new project which is going to take a while, frankly, and it's called the Queer Film Institute.
Yes, we are getting our idea from the American Film Institute that has many, many lists of what they consider to be the best of anything. They have the best comedies, they have the best dramas, and then they have the best foreign films, actually, I think, right? Which is funny because it's the American Film Institute. And then they just have an overall top 100 best movies of all time. So what we're doing with this project is we really don't know what queer cinema really is. Does anybody?
No, I think there's definitely a question that we have when we're working on programming Q-Fest is this movie a queer cinema film because it has a gay director or because it has gay subject matter? Where is that line drawn? Does it have to be a certain amount of queerness, for lack of a better term, in order to qualify? There's no clear boundaries. And if you look at lists of there's tons of lists of great gay films or queer cinema, and there's no consensus on what those consist of. For example, The Wizard of Oz is something that's a film that's consistently embraced by a certain part of the gay community as being a film that speaks to that community, but it's not necessarily queer cinema.
Right.
Or is it? I don't know. And one of the things we talk about when programming Movie Q or Q-Fest is this film, should this be included, even though it's an old 1960s film or something, and it's not necessarily, the topic is the same, but the community it speaks to is.
Absolutely. And for example, I guess a good example here is for the 2013 Q-Fest, we picked Cat on a Hot Tin Roof to be shown on the Friday night after a movie about the history of gay people in film called The Celluloid Closet. So we double featured it, and in the middle we have a panel about how homosexuality has been represented in film. And a lot of times it was always the bad guy was gay, or the lesbian was just predatory, something that wasn't good. So when I picked Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, I picked it because, first of all, Tennessee Williams, it was homosexual. The playwright who wrote the play that Cat on a Hot Tin Roof was based on is homosexual. And in the play, it's clear that Paul Newman's character in the movie, Brick, is in love with his dead friend. They play that down in the movie in order to have made the movie. So I thought that was worth showing in a Q-Fest. I thought that the whole story behind it was relevant, and I thought his struggle was relevant because, there are a lot of people who struggle with their sexuality today, and that movie took place in the early 60s. So, and I had people fight me on it. I had people say that movie should not be in your festival.
Fortunately, with the parameters of Q-Fest, we have a lot of flexibility. It's not so clearly defined. So we can program things like that. For this project, for Queer Film Institute, what we're trying to do is create a list of, I think we're going to do 50, the top 50 queer films. And what that leads us up to is, what's the number one? What's the Citizen Kane of queer cinema? And there's a lot of different classic texts to choose from. But in order to figure out what that is, in order to have some type of rubric, you have to look at what Citizen Kane is.
Okay.
Citizen Kane's consistently at the top of the AFI lists, or maybe not the BFI list. I think the top of the BFI list is The Third Man, which also features Orson Welles.
BFI is the British Film Institute?
British Film Institute.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's a lot of lists, and usually Citizen Kane comes out at the top or near the top for a
Always.
lot of good reasons. It's not necessarily because it's the best movie ever made, and how can you judge that? There's
Subjective.
no real criteria. But you can say that in terms of its culture and its place in the film industry, in terms of film as an artistry, Citizen Kane has very clear strengths and has a very clear before and after point. Before Citizen Kane, movies did certain things and had certain parts, certain technicalities that were part of its vocabulary. After Citizen Kane, things changed significantly. So it's a watershed moment in the history of cinema for pushing cinema in multiple different directions all at once in terms of lighting and composition, sound design, and editing.
Have you seen a queer movie that makes you stop and think, wow, that might change something somewhere?
I have not. And I think what we'd like to do is open that up to the audience and get some feedback on our Facebook page, for example, and from our movie screenings too. We're going to be asking people, what's the great Citizen Kane of gay cinema, of queer cinema, and why?
I think. Do you have an idea what you think people are going to say? I think people are going to say Brokeback Mountain, and I don't think they're going to say it because it was a good movie. I do like Ang Lee as a director. If his name is attached to a project, I will see it. I think the biggest reason people might pick it is because two heteronormative actors, Heath Ledger and Jake Gyllenhaal, took a chance on their careers, because even today, for straight actors to play gay can be difficult and can pigeonhole them. So here were these two A-list actors who took on this project, and it did not affect their career. In fact, it helped their career take off. No, they were already taken off. I don't know, but it really solidified them in like the canon of Hollywood with this movie. But I don't think it did anything for gay cinema.
It was very mainstream, but it isn't necessarily. Well, the question is it the game-changing watershed moment, or is that something with perhaps a greater artistic achievement, like Paris is Burning, for example, or if you want to go back further, The Boys in the Band in the 1970s.
That was such a self-loathing movie. I don't ever want anybody to watch it.
That's a tough movie to watch.
It's hard. I read the play. It's horrible.
Yeah, well, it's unpleasant.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, it's very well done. But I hated myself after reading it. I'm not a gay man.
Right.
You know?
Right. But there's so many different films to choose from, and there's so many different pockets of queer cinema in different places. There's queercore in the 1980s. There's new queer cinema more recently, and there's the experimental work and the avant-garde stuff of Andy Warhol. Is the film Blowjob, which is a 30-minute short film that Warhol did, is that part of is that in one of the contenders?
Is it two men in that movie?
Oh, there's only one man.
Oh, so it's two. Okay, I'll look that one up later. So
That's a separate topic of discussion, I think. But Warhol's work is always challenging what a film actually is and what the experience of experiencing a film actually is. So he's coming at it from a performance art type of place, which is difficult to judge that in context with something that's more mainstream, like Angels in America is a narrative, very, very clearly narrative driven. So I'm not sure what our criteria will be, and we're going to have to figure that out.
we will have to figure it out. And again, go to our Facebook page if you have ideas as to what you think. And our Facebook page is QFest Proctors. Give us ideas for what your favorite movie has been, why it was your favorite movie. And I think, honestly, and I've noticed this happening, and we touched on it with Struck by Lightning, is that maybe the watershed is that to have a gay character in a movie is no longer the point. That their sexuality doesn't define the character, and the sexuality doesn't define the movie.
Well, that's a goal. Right?
Yes, yeah.
Is that the goal of queer cinema, though?
Oh.
Interesting question. That might be a goal for mainstream cinema.
Okay.
But is that the goal for a cinema about a community?
Why did we decide to do this project again? This is really hard.
It is very hard, but I think it will help us filter through what it is queer cinema means.
Sure.
And it also, I think, will allow us to discover different avenues and different genres, because there is no such thing as the queer community. There's different fractures and subgroups.
Absolutely.
There is no monolith, and that's the same thing for all different groups of people who are lumped together as a community.
Well, that's why the name for the community is an acronym. It's LGBTQ.
And it has to be.
It has to be, because it encompasses everybody. You know, and that's why it's a gay-straight alliance at school, or if schools allow those to happen. I just, like I said in a previous episode, I want everyone's story to be told. I want everyone to be able to identify with somebody who is on screen. so that they know they're not alone out there. And I want it to be a quality movie. That's the other thing, is a lot of these queer films are independently made, low budget, which there is a place for that, but they all deserve to have their Citizen Kane.
Which we will discover over the course. I think it'll take a year, to be honest.
Okay. Well, check back with us in a year, everybody.
The Mountaintop, a dramatic imagining of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s last night on Earth that will move, challenge, and inspire you. Entertainment Weekly called it daring, rousing, and provocative. The Mountaintop, January 17th through February 9th, only at Capitol Repertory Theater.
Hi, and welcome to our interview portion of Movie Q. I am Catherine Stevens, and I'm joined today by Michael Wiedrich of the Pride Center, who's going to talk to us about the gay soiree that the Pride Center is holding on February 8th. Hi, Michael.
Hi.
Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
I love your bow tie.
Oh, thanks. Bow ties are cool.
I wish I could wear them. Can I wear them?
You can wear them.
Do girls do that?
Yeah.
Okay, I've worn ties.
It's not a gender-specific thing. Bow ties apply to everybody.
Oh, look out. Oh my God, take me shopping.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So the gay soiree, tell us about it.
Well, this is our premier gay soiree, the first time we're throwing this little event. The Stateroom, which is down in Albany on State Street, is sponsoring this whole event for us as kind of their gift to us.
Awesome.
And it's just a big, funky, formal, high-fashion, gender-bender party. Because we do so many different things throughout the year. I mean, we have our Pride Festival, we have our gala, which really are very different things. And I really want to do like just a fun party, where you get dressed up, you go dance, you meet with your friends, and you just have a great time. So that's what this is.
So when you say gender bending, is that the time I should wear my bow tie?
Yeah, you can do that.
I wear my bow tie.
See, I was kind of as part of queer cinema, I was watching this movie on Netflix called Christopher and His Kind, which is about the author Christopher Isherwood, who wrote the story that is the basis of the movie Cabaret.
Okay.
He's an Englishman that was living in Berlin, Germany, in 1930s, right before World War II broke out. So he was going to all these cabarets and these underground clubs and, meeting men, but also seeing performances and really experiencing the nightlife of that era. And when I saw this movie, I said, that's what I want to do. I want to do that sort of party.
And that's
And
starring...
that's with Matt Smith, who is Doctor Who.
Yes. Oh, he's not Doctor Who anymore, but...
He's not the 11th Doctor, Matt Smith, in a tour de force performance. Amazing, really amazing.
What's it called again?
Christopher and His Kind.
And His Kind.
And His Kind.
So that's what inspired the gay soiree.
Yeah.
So, so wear whatever you want,
Yep.
dress up. So tickets.
Tickets. Yes.
How do
tickets.
you buy them?
You can go online to capitalpridecenter.org and purchase them there. They're $45 in advance, $65 at the door. We also have a VIP package.
Okay, what's that?
Which gets you into the party an hour earlier and gives you unlimited wine for the first hour.
Unlimited wine. Reds
Yeah.
and whites?
Reds and whites.
What about a rosé?
You can mix them together.
I've done that with wine and beer.
You can make.
It was an accident. I'll tell you that right
Yeah, you can mix your wines together.
now. Okay.
Yeah.
With sangria?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's February 8th, and what time does it start?
The VIP starts at 6 o'clock, and the regular doors open at 7 o'clock,
Okay.
and it goes till 10 p.m.
Okay.
We have this amazing duo called Sonny and Pearly, who will be performing standards from the 1930s, cabaret songs. And then halfway through the evening, we're going to have DJ Rob Penders spinning dance music.
Wonderful.
So we have a nice array of music, start a little slow and then get a little crazy later in the evening.
Is there food?
Oh, there's tons of food.
So this ticket includes...
Unlimited food.
Unlimited food.
They're putting out a virgin drink bar,
Okay.
free,
Wonderful. For DDs.
complimentary. But then there'll also be wine and spirits for purchase.
Okay. Well, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy my tickets soon.
Lots of fun. So really good. Alan Bennett O'Loughlin, who is a Capital District blogger and Man About Town, is our honorary co-chair, and he is known for his fashion.
Oh, okay.
He dresses to the nines for everything. Like you could see, like the Beaujolais Nouveau, he always dresses, in these fantastic outfits. So he's our honorary co-chair because I figured he is the best person.
He knows what
for
he's
this.
talking
He knows
about.
what he's talking about. So he is blogging and telling everybody about this fantastic event. It's like when we're all like, what's he gonna wear?
Is there a cap to the attendance? Like, will tickets run out, or is it we have a huge capacity so people can buy
There's a
tickets?
pretty big capacity.
Okay, good. But still buy
It would
tickets
be.
now.
I would still buy tickets in advance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So, since the Olympics are coming up around the same time as the gay soiree,
Yes.
I wanted to pick your brain on what people who hold LGBTQ issues close to their heart, how they can support gay athletes, how they can still watch the Olympics and not feel guilty about it. I mean, for my example is for me, a friend of mine and I care very much about LGBTQ issues, but we want to watch the Olympics. I mean, who doesn't
Right.
love ice dancing?
Right.
So my suggestion was go to the Human Rights Campaign, donate some money to them, get one of those cool T-shirts in Russian, and then watch the Olympics.
Right.
Right, which seems like a good compromise for me, but
Yeah.
boycotting doesn't seem right.
It doesn't. It's such a tricky situation. And it's not the Olympics' fault, it's not the athletes' fault. I mean, it is the country of Russia that has, made this law. And boycotting the Olympics really won't affect the country. We've talked about like the sponsorship pull out. That only hurts the Olympics. And these Olympians, these people who've practiced and been in competition for all these years, this is their moment to go and potentially win a gold medal.
Right.
It's only detrimental to them, and some of them are gay. And so it's just bad all around. So I mean, I really think people should support the Olympians and support the Olympics.
And so do you think Obama made the right, a move in the positive direction to send an all-gay delegation?
I think that's a great move.
I loved it. I saw that and
It's
went,
so
yes.
it's so perfect. It's sending a message, but it's perfect. And I applaud Brian Boitano for coming out of the closet finally after all these years. It's great. I mean, it's amazing, kind of the wave of people that are coming out of the closet, not just in regards to the Olympics, but kind of it seems like kind of nationally, like more and more people are coming out. And it's visibility. It's all about visibility.
Oh, right. Especially, when actors, when politicians can live their lives and do live their lives openly.
Right.
It's always refreshing because as a person who exists, knowing that you'd have to live a secret is just, I feel the pressure for them,
Right.
like how could you not?
Right.
So, yeah. Okay. So support the Olympics. Instead, we can write our legislators, but at the same time, what can Kirsten Gillibrand do for for Vladimir Putin's policy making? There's always in our previous conversation we talked about the band Pussy Riot, which has got a lot of attention for
Right.
protests in Russia,
Right.
and a lot of it has to do with the church and the way the church views women, but that is easily extended to LGBT rights in Russia.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to change my name. I'm not going to join a band named Pussy Riot and then wear a balaclava and play in front of an Orthodox church. But
But you could.
I am there in spirit.
Right. We support the people that are protesting in Russia, and anything that we can do to support them.
And
You know.
the first step is attending the Gay Soiree as a fundraiser for the Pride Center.
Exactly.
So, because that's where it all starts, grassroots.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, even still in the United States, we're still fighting our battles here. The ban, the temporary ban in Utah that the Supreme Court just did. Every step forward, and unfortunately, there are steps backwards.
Right.
So even on the home front, we're still trying to make positive change. So
Every day.
every day, it's an everyday thing.
And it could be something as little as buying a T-shirt. For some people, that's a big step.
Right.
For my mom who has a gay brother, that would be a huge step.
Your uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My Uncle Ginger.
Uncle Ginger.
Uncle Ginger.
Is that really his name?
He changed it from Gregory David to Ginger Divine Yeah, but we can talk about him another
Okay,
day.
all right. That's
Yeah.
another. Yeah, that's a whole other thing. Ginger Divine. You should have Ginger Divine on the show.
I know. I should. I dye my hair ginger all the time. So
I like a ginger.
I do too. Harry, Prince Harry.
Oh, Prince Harry.
And on that note,
Yeah.
so go to the Pride Center Albany online. What's the website?
CapitalPrideCenter.org.
Okay. And you can buy your tickets for the
Buy your
gay
tickets
soiree there, or at the door for the. I am very excited for the gay soiree. The first one. You're gonna do this every year.
It's the first one. If this does well, we would love to have it to be an annual event.
I would love that.
Because there's it's the winter time, and what's really going on. So we figured it was the perfect time to have a soiree.
Yeah. Well, there aren't very many soirees, that's for sure.
Right.
There are lots of parties.
Lots of parties, but this is a soiree.
It's a soiree.
Yeah.
And that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me.
And I look forward to having you on here again.
My pleasure.
And thank you so much for watching Movie Q, and we hope to see you next time.